Who's behind all of your
Well, we wrote them.
It's only a story, you know.
I usually tried to work out one way in which they could be actually physically made and made to work. Then it was really over the designers and the visual effects department to make them really happen. And some were quite extraordinarily complex, weren't they? The cream mine and the
I think
bum fight.
and Graham is a very good artist. It's flattering. This can be said years later. And designer in his own right. I mean, he's a very good drawer. And he would actually map out a drawing for the special effects department. And then, by all means, they would amend it and say, this isn't going to work. Check it away and do something else. But we always made it a fetish to understand the problems of each department. Yeah. And that includes costumes, special effects and everything else, because they're all part of the comedy. Yeah. And we wouldn't just hand it over to somebody and say, come up with a funny costume. We would make some suggestions. We would do drawings. I can draw a bit. Graham can draw extremely well.
I can't
and Tim would say, that's good.
Yeah.
And
but what was interesting was that they took that as a challenge and had to make it better, didn't they? And then they did. They always made it much better. But it's not fair just to say, I jump out of the window and land on a space hopper. You've got to work out how it's done.
We always made it a little rule was we would always have an answer to the question. If somebody says, how do you do that? At this big planning meeting, we would always have an answer. It might be the wrong answer.
One of my
but we'd have
favourite moments of the technical thing, we used to what was called VBC at the time, colour separation overlay, which is the blue in the back and you put the picture over it. We were trying to get that shot you always get in various cartoons when somebody runs over the cliff, realises they're thinner, looks at the camera and drops. That's right. And we tried everything with wires and back projection and high-ups. And there came a moment when somebody said, it only needs to be 6 foot off the ground. And when all our brains had gone by, I remember Bill saying, oh, well, if it's only 6 foot above the ground, we can do it ourselves. Standing mid-air, 6 foot off the ground.
The moment we've come to believe that we were cartoon characters.
Yes.
It's just time to stop.
But it got so complicated sometimes that just trying to work out, because you've got to time the film behind at the right moment, the costumes had to be right and the editing right. It was so complicated that our brains were bursting. But that was part of the fun of it, of course.